welcome to the Rum Regret podcast. I am Andy Drake.
Johanna Myers.
Nate Tussey, and we drink and we know things.
And we are back to full strength. Joseph is back. Hey! Joe, welcome back.
Thank you.
We missed you last week. And we got an earful from Dan. So
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun, but we're glad to have you back. And so it is Tuesday, June 7th. We are here. We are going to talk the first 3 episodes of The Boys, which dropped last week on Amazon Prime. We are also going to do a Kenobi catch-up. Patent pending name.
Yes.
And just a deeper discussion, because I have a lot to unpack on Kenobi right now. And I want to see if you guys are taking it as I am. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about that. But let's talk. Let's do our segments real quick. Joe, do you have a horror corner for this week?
I do. It is short and sweet as I've been on vacation, but I picked up the Evil Dead video game, and I've been playing that.
Oh, nice.
And it's super fun. If you are a fan of Evil Dead or just Bruce Campbell in general, you're gonna get your money's worth out of this, because it's only like $20 or it's $20 or $40 or something like that.
Okay.
But it's fun. My only gamer critique is there's no save points. The missions are fairly. They're not short, but they're not long. It's that weird thing where it's just like you die right as you're getting the last piece of the puzzle, and then you have to start all the way at the beginning, and it's like, can you just have a midway save point?
Yeah, so it's just long enough to be annoying to have to go back and do.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
But then you get more Bruce Campbell content and fun shooting and hacking up zombies and deadites.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah, you guys should pick it up so we can explore the online content, because it's cross-platform.
Okay.
So we can all play together.
Nice.
And from what I've only played the first mission, solo, I guess you call it campaign. And then there's the group play where it's you could either play as a survivor, and you could pick anybody from the Evil Dead universe. So characters from the show, all the movies. You could pick which Ash you want. Do you want one Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness?
Yeah.
Or you can play as one of the Deadites, and you have different options of Deadites. So
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And the Deadites, you start as a incorporeal spirit, and you have to go and you have to possess things. So you either possess one of the Deadites, or you can possess trees, cars, things like that, to go fuck with the survivors. Great. So it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm having a good time with it. Sorry, Nate, I'm having more fun with that than
Elden Ring right now.
Elden Ring.
Yeah. Nate, you're muted, sir.
Lord, it's like a continuous work meeting, but from home. All right.
Hey,
you're muted.
Yeah.
Hey.
New microphone. Who dis?
Yeah.
So I hear you. It's Elden Ring is super tough, and it took me probably 2.5 hours of just banging my head against the wall until I kind of restarted as a different class that fit my playstyle better. And then I had a Sherpa. So
okay, well, good to know. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for the Evil Dead game, so we should try that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Rum Regret presents.
That's right. Yeah. That's
Don't
awesome.
forget the Necronomicon.
Definitely an N-word. All right.
But yeah, that's all I got as far as horror corner.
No, that works. That's a fully acceptable horror corner. Since we're going to talk about streaming shows, we're going to defer the streaming service selection till after the Marvel Minute. So, Nate, what do you got?
This really looks like my mic is low, but whatever. We'll figure it out in post. Okay, so a lot of stuff going on in the Marvel Minute, even though it's only been a week. So I'll try to keep this brief. We're going to go most recent to last week in that order, just to try and speed through this. So Tom Holland keeps up his Marvel spoiler ways when he spoiled Spider-Man No Way Home for the new Miss Marvel actress. Apparently she hadn't seen it. He spoiled it for her. Also, side note, the Miss Marvel show comes out on tomorrow.
Oh, and, cool. Oh, wow.
There's actually a review out already, Miss Marvel TV review, why it's worth watching. And I didn't really go through the review in detail, but there was one specific part I pulled out that was regarding her power set, because they completely changed her, right? From being like Stretch Armstrong, Mr. Fantastic, to being able to physically manifest light in the new version. But it's connected to like a family heirloom and like the other characters from the Marvels that she'll be associated with. So let's see. According to Kevin Feige and the producer, Kamala's new on-screen power set not only ties her role to the Marvels movie coming soon, but also her family history and heritage. So that's one of the reasons why they made the change. Apparently, it comes off really nicely on screen. So we'll see. Checking that out tomorrow. Doctor Strange 2 writer reveals the Iron Man Easter egg we all missed. So this is it's very clickbaity. So in that scene where they're falling through all the different dimensions, right? Mm-hmm. There's actually one that's like the superior Iron Man drones with arc reactor energy running everywhere and that kind of shit. So that was it. I was hoping for more, but I looked it up. So I had to share. MCU Blade movie receives exciting filming update. So it looks like it's going to kick off production as early as July 5th. And the goal will be to have the movie released in 2023. October, I think, is what they're shooting for. So,
nice.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Let's see. So specific to one of our last Rum and Regret at Full Strength conversations about why Phase 4 Marvel stuff is so weird and different and has a different feel to it, Kevin Feige specifically addressed it in a virtual meeting that he had. Let's see. Virtual press conference for upcoming MCU streaming service, Miss Marvel. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige addressed the different direction tones that each Phase 4 project thus far has taken. Long story short is they wanted this phase to be kind of all over the place on purpose because of the whole multiverse and dimensional thing. I don't think that right. Specifically to us and our concerns about things happening, but right. I do like the fact that if you think about it, they've gone tonally everywhere, and then the diversity is just going to keep growing because this year they've already done like their Sam Raimi, or not Sam Raimi. Is it Sam Raimi?
It is. Yeah.
Doctor Strange 2.
Strange, no. Yeah.
That is Sam. Yes.
Sorry. Yeah. So the little bit of horror with him. There's going to be a procedural legal comedy with She-Hulk, coming of age story with Miss Marvel coming out. And then there's going to be a bunch of other stuff coming out this year. So obviously Thor: Love and Thunder and all that. So TBD, we'll see how it all wraps up. Marvel tends to put a bow on things pretty nicely. So I don't think we have any real reason to worry. Let's see. Marvel Studios breaks weekly release pattern with new Disney Plus series. So this really caught my eye, actually, considering all of the weekly stuff. So I Am Groot is releasing in August, I guess, and it's an animated kind of in its own universe animated Groot thing, but they're releasing all the episodes at once.
Oh, that's interesting.
The Netflix model.
Right. And so the reason why that's cool is I wonder if maybe are they just doing it for that one, or are they going to do it for all of them moving forward? I would expect that those kind of self-contained little spots they would just dump and then maybe keep the weekly drip for the others. But
didn't they do that with Visions, Star Wars Visions as well? Didn't everything drop at once?
I think so.
And then MODOK wasn't MODOK was Hulu, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So never
unfortunately canceled RIP MODOK.
Yeah.
Let's see. Marvel cast Borat actress in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So his daughter from the new Borat movie
right
was just cast in Guardians 3, or not just. Apparently it was
she was just announced because they finished filming. Yeah.
Yeah, and James Gunn responded to the news, shocked that it took people so long to find out about the casting.
Right.
But he said that she does an incredible job, so we'll see what happens there. Very nice. Let's see. Tom Holland, Scarlett Johansson, and Marvel wins big at MTV Movie Awards. I almost watched this. I'm not sure why I didn't, although I'm sure it would have made me feel super old. But Spider-Man: No Way Home wins for Best Movie, and Tom Holland recognized for Best Performance, and
finally recognition
wins an award for Best Hero in a Solo Debut, and recognition for her final performance in the role. And Sofia Di Martino, breakthrough performance for Sylvie and Loki. Disney Plus series also received a bunch of prizes for Best Team for Tom Hiddleston's Loki, Wilson's Morbius, and Sylvie all together. And then Spider-Man Zendaya was recognized as Best Performance in a Show for her role Euphoria, so obviously she's recognized for something else. And then Ryan Reynolds got Best Comedic Performance for Free Guy. So a bunch of Marvel and Marvel-adjacent things finally getting some recognition, even though it's MTV Movie Awards. Whatever, I guess a trophy.
Hey, you know what? I'll take that over the Oscars at this point.
Yeah, the Oscars really suck a fart out of my asshole at this point. Let's see. Moving on. We're almost done here. Marvel submits What If's Best Episode for the Emmys. So they submitted What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart instead of his hands for an Emmy Awards. So
do we really consider that one the best episode of What If?
Yeah,
I do.
Okay,
that one or the zombies.
That's up for discussion.
I don't think it is.
Disney
Disney
Plus.
Plus.
You guys know I'm biased, so I'll leave you two to argue.
You can't like select
Joe
the
is
last
cumberblind.
one because
I am very cumberblind.
What you mean, Bandersnatch Cumberbund?
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna keep doing that until it sticks.
Right.
So Disney Plus upgrades Punisher and other Marvel's Defenders shows. So apparently they confirmed that Iron Fist, Defenders, and the Punisher are all getting 4K Ultra HD upgrades on Disney Plus, which is cool for those of us that drool over that shit.
Okay.
What else? Let's see. I think that's going to be about it. The rest of this is kind of... we got to address the It's Morbin Time meme. Have you guys seen this?
No.
I have seen it. I have no idea because I never saw Morbius. So.
Oh my God. It's so hilarious. So Morbius is on Apple TV right now, apparently, and debuted at number 1. So Sony decided they're going to re-release it in 1,000 theaters across the U.S., and that spectacularly failed, apparently.
Don't do that.
Over this last weekend, with other movies, I'm sure, being to blame, but good Lord. Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun, just stupid, like 2000s action kind of superhero movie.
Oh, shoot, then I'm going to love it.
Yeah, well, the meme is hilarious. It's like, my favorite part is when he yelled, "It's Morbin time," and then goes all Morbius on everybody. So they actually went after that meme, or not went after it, like played off the meme and showed a short video of Jared Leto reading a script that said Morbius 2, "It's Morbin time" on it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, so I just like the fact that was in the zeitgeist for a minute. It's worth a watch for sure, especially if you get it for free on a streaming service. It's worth watching. So, that's going to be it for the Marvel Minute for today.
Nice. All right. So yeah, let's roll into the streaming service selection of the week, and with that, we'll roll into our bigger discussion. Obviously, again, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds still going very, very strong. Great shore leave episode last week.
I need to catch up on that.
Yeah, no, they're really doing well at fleshing out the characters and giving everybody a decent amount of screen time, I think. And it's it's my favorite show out there right now. Orville came back on Hulu. I still haven't watched this yet, but I'm ready to jump in as well. They're doing a weekly release schedule there, and I think the first 3 dropped over there. So can't wait to get back on that as well. What else is coming out? I had a list. I totally lost it. But
there's a bunch, I'm sure.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sure it'll hit me during the discussion, but we can move on and move forward. So obviously Kenobi's mid-season right now. There are 3 episodes according to what was initially said about the episode run. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Ewan McGregor during Star Wars Celebration says, because they showed the first 2 episodes at Star Wars Celebration, and they Ewan McGregor said on stage as he was leaving, I hope you guys like episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then left the stage, right? And so that I'm sure he was just joking with everybody. But like, if we get something at the end of episode 6 saying, and coming next week, episode 7, like, it would just be crazy. But and then obviously, I think we should talk about The Boys first, and then jump into Kenobi, because I have more to say about Kenobi than I do have about The Boys right now. So The Boys just launched on Amazon Prime this last week with their first 3 episodes. I've gotten through 2, but I don't want to stop you guys about talking about the 3rd, because we're going to watch the 3rd tonight. So feel free to jump in with any information. But I just want to start out with our Boys discussion of I didn't think we could get a crazier opening than we did in because we got a Legend like Legend of Vox Machina was a pretty crazy opening for like the opening moments of a TV show, right?
For sure.
But no. The Boys season 3 is hold my beer, because we got something.
15 minutes in, holy shit balls.
Yeah.
Right. And,
what are you guys talking about?
The Thanos moment?
Right.
Yeah, it's the Ant-Man and Thanos take 2.
Right. Yeah. Holy crap, man. Like, what's there to say about that moment?
Yeah. So far, season 3 is just superhero torture porn, and I'm kind of here for it. It was so weird. Like, dollhouse, he's fucking a doll in the dollhouse, and then just, okay, now he's normal size, and then, now he's, okay, I want you inside me. Like, oh God, this is going to get graphic.
Right.
Well, he's going to go with the back, right? No,
right. That's what I thought too. Like, no, that would be bad, because he'd just be swimming in whatever.
I'm just gonna throw it out there and be gross because I'm a girl and I don't have these parts. I'm like, is that a thing?
Oh, yeah, apparently it's a thing. Yeah.
Is that kind of stimulation a thing?
Oh, no, I've never done it, but apparently it's a thing.
Who can if you've ever experienced this, please call us.
No. If you've ever experienced this, call Andy at.
Right.
Jesus. Do not put that shit out in the world. My God.
Right. Yeah.
And
so,
and here's again the dangers of cocaine.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. It made him sneeze. Is that a thing? Because ouch.
And then after that, we sort of get where everybody's been for the last year, because it's a year time jump since season 2 ended, and we get Homelander sort of doing his press tour, trying to get his image sort of back on the up and up, and
I just
going
made a
over
mistake.
Right. It's going over the same sort of talking points and I really love the way that was done.
Yeah. He just fell in love with the wrong woman.
Right. Yep.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that old chestnut of superhero Nazi scum. Oh, yeah, we've all been there.
Right.
I didn't know. How could I have known?
Right. And then we see where Huey's been, and how he's been dealing with the I forget what the governmental thing is called, like the League of the
Federal Bureau of Superhuman Investigations or something like that.
Superhero Affairs or something like that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, the FBSA. That's right. Yeah. So and he's working side by side with the Congresswoman, who's the headburster.
Yeah, who we know is the headburster, but he doesn't find that out until later.
Right, until what, mid second episode or beginning of the second episode, something like that. And
second episode,
yeah, like I am curious to see like the corn syrup budget line so far, because damn,
that's hilarious.
Like, just I mean, I don't know, the effects that must have just been so much fun putting those effects together and just having sort of all that blow up in everybody's face on set.
Yeah. How much blood do we need for this scene? All of it. Wait, what do you mean?
Whatever you can spare.
Literally all the blood that we have on the set. Like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. Well, and then I'd hate to be the guy. Oh, wait. Reset. Let's do that again.
Right. Oh,
Clean
man,
it
I
up.
sneezed.
Clean it up.
I don't think that can happen. I think that's a one and done right there. Can you imagine where all that blood goes?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Squeegee it into a bucket and reset it.
Yeah. And then Giancarlo Esposito being just super like awesome headvot bad guy. Like he was just born to play bad. He really was. So Joe, what do you think of The Boys so far?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I am so here for it. And I love watching Homelander just fall apart and
yeah, especially in episode 3, Andy. The fact that you hadn't seen that one yet, I don't want to. We're not going to cover that one. We'll roll that into our next thing if we can save it, because episode 3 is when this shit really turns and like turns your stomach. Even I had some serious problems with stuff that happened in episode 3, and we'll have to go into that. Yeah. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. It's very bad on several levels. So.
Compared to what happened in episode 2 when he
Nope. Nope. it's worse.
Wow.
Throw it out there.
Oh, yeah. And I forgot our cameo right off the bat in the Dawn of the Seven for
Charlize
Stormfront. Man, so great.
Yeah, hardest working woman in show business right now.
Seriously, yeah, showing up in The Boys.
I had a minute of just like, is that her? That's her, right?
Yeah, right.
No, that can't be. Yep, it's her.
Yeah. And then I forget what they call the
poor real Stormfront is sitting there in Homelander's fucking room.
Yeah.
In his fortress of solitude, handing out candies.
Burned out hand job machine.
Right. Oh, man.
Like, shit, if I were her, I'd bite my own tongue off, too.
The worst sex doll ever.
Oh, seriously. Yeah. But yeah, no, Joe, to your point, Homelander, just Anthony Starr, he's so good, man. Yeah. He's so great in that role, and just watching him just slowly break apart, you know, with every little thing, and especially when they offer up Starlight to be co-captain. Just like of like watching him, you know, do his best to sort of hold back, and I mean, it's such a great show. It's so engaging, and I can't wait to dive in. And I'm really glad that Amazon pushes this week to week, because I think it you know, a lot of the great shows, I think the impact would be lessened if it just all sort of dumped out at once.
Yeah, except for I really want that next episode, like right now.
That's just us being addicts for the good shit. But I agree with you, Andy. We talked about this before, where it's like it gives us time to process and kind of theory craft and like, God, what does that mean, without it being immediately answered, you know? So I prefer the drip.
Yeah, and especially now, because the day things premiere, there are 100 of reaction videos online of what the ending means, and you know, so and so's cameo in this means this, and you know what Homelander did in episode 6. It's like, you know, all that stuff sort of comes out, and unfortunately, my daily routine takes me to some of these places where I can't get past some of these headlines,
right?
You know, so having the weekly drip and the release, just it at least helps for my enjoyment of the show. But it really does sort of it makes it more exciting to get to the finale. So
that's right. The shrinking guy's name is Termite.
That's right. Yeah.
And
then I love the fact that they close him out at the end. Like, oh no, we just got to deal with Terminix to get him in there. So we need to. Yeah.
Well, and that all shows up later, plays off later when Huey figures out that he's working for Vought again. Like, oh
Right.
God, why do these guys keep getting off and getting deals and all this shit? Like, oh, fuck.
Because they own everything. They run everything.
Yeah. And he goes back to the boys and the gang's all back together.
Yeah.
The thing I really loved about the first episode, even though there's so much to love, was the gun show at the end.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, what was his name?
Gunpowder.
Yeah.
Gunpowder, right? Yeah.
Right.
Is he just like an ultra right wing Hawkeye? Is that what his power set is? It's just like
I would assume so. Yeah.
There was a video I saw. I think it was Emergency Awesome was talking about like the different like this guy is a ripoff of this guy, and he was saying it was because Soldier Boy is obviously Captain America.
Right.
I think Gunpowder is kind of, or he was like, I think Gunpowder is more like a Bucky.
Gotcha.
He's
sure.
Oh, right. And he touched him behind something. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Blocking out that part.
Captain Bucky.
That's hilarious.
Oh
yeah.
Bringing up Soldier Boy, man. Like, obviously, I'm a huge Jensen Ackles fan. I'm a Supernatural girl, so I'm like, that's my boy. But I love that he's getting to flex his villain nuts in this, because you see it a little bit in Supernatural when he's Demon Dean. But I'm like, Soldier Boy is just like, oh God, I hate you. You're such a misogynistic asshole, but I love you.
Oh, I made a
I'm
mistake.
still laughing at Flex his demon nuts.
It's
I
Flex
love
his
that.
demon nuts, yeah. And it looks like the whole showdown at the gun show is in season 2 or is episode 2. So I messed that one up. The episode 2, the trailer for Deep's movie, Not Without My Dolphin.
Oh my God, that was so great.
I'm like ugly snorted so hard.
Yeah. Well, and just his awkward exchange with Homelanders at what, you went on before me? And that whole exchange right then and there, I don't know who is that.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. But and I don't, and again, I'm just speaking from episodes 1 and 2, but it does seem like Deep and A-Train even are more just sort of comic relief so far than anything. And I don't know if that'll change over the season, just because there's a lot, there's a lot more that you have to get to where those guys are just there for levity, probably.
Right. It's hilarious that the Deep is getting all these awards and everything now because he's gone through he was able to escape from the church with his wife, but it comes out later. I think it's episode 2 or 3 where she's like, do the fucking thing and just, dance monkey kind of stuff.
No,
so.
right. Yeah, I think it's episode 3.
Oh, okay. No spoilers then. Sorry, my fault.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Well, she was like that almost after the Homelander thing where she's just like, no, you're, of course you should be here. It's something like that.
Yep.
So
the whole Votland scene with Kimiko and Frenchie.
Oh my God.
And the Crimson Countess, like
yeah.
Fireball and explodey mascot all over the kids. Like, Jesus.
Oh man, and both Jamie and I didn't put together that there was a guy in that suit. Like, we just thought it was like a statue or something.
Until the blood went everywhere.
Yeah.
It took me a minute too. I was like, wait, was that like, what is this, cake?
Yeah, is that a jaw? What is
why is this a giant cake that just exploded? Then I'm like, oh wait,
I think that's the top of his esophagus. Oh God.
Right.
Yeah. That's one, like the common thread through all of these episodes so far has been just brutality. Like as brutal, it's like Mortal Kombat finishers all over the place. And it's bad, but I love it.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Anything else stand out to you, Nate, in these in the first 2 episodes?
Yeah, so I love the whole kind of side story with A-Train and him trying to be like make a difference and actually stand out again, and like A-Train to Africa, and like he does the whole pitch with the marketing guy who doesn't believe his shit at all, and then he's talking with Ashley and her assistant Ashley, and it's ridiculous. Like, just the whole A-Train thing and him trying to become relevant again is hilarious. But the big part for me was the gun show, which I thought was in episode 1, but episode 2 apparently.
No, it was at
where
the end
Butcher
of
almost
2.
gets killed basically, and that's what pushes him over the edge to take the V-24. I think.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh wait, no, is it? So I guess that's episode 2 when Homelander snaps, right? Because he's going to save the girl on top of the building.
His birthday party is when he has this little monologue. Towards the, yeah, he lets the girl. Well, he freaks out because
forces her. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, and what was it? Because he sees that Stormfront killed herself.
Yeah. Right. So backing
up,
he
just loses it.
Yeah, they're all at the bottom of a building, like all the press and everything, because a girl is going to jump off a building, and so then Vought press is there to like film Homelander saving her, and he comes down and starts talking to her, and then there's breaking news behind him on a billboard, and it's the whole thing about Stormfront.
Yeah,
I don't know if they said that she bit her tongue off in the billboard, but
it just said Stormfront suicide.
Right, there you go.
So he's like, oh shit. She's like, well, fuck it.
Yeah, his first reaction is, how dare she do something like that on his birthday?
Yeah, like, right.
Jesus Christ. And so then he just flips out and tells her to jump, and she doesn't want to, and now she wants to get down, but basically he forces her to jump, and Splitto.
So yeah, I just this again, this I'm all aboard for this. It's such a great show, and I just think it's like the cast is near perfect, and they're killing it so far.
Kudos to Amazon for letting them do this, like not in its entirety, but damn close.
Right. Yeah. So no, this is it's just great. It's just great. So anything else that we need on this so far? I mean, I know it's just the first 3 episodes so far, but obviously I think we've done season recaps on The Boys before, but I think we'll sort of update as we go. But I think we can do
about how Simon Pegg shows up as his dad.
Yeah, I know what we mentioned this before, but Simon Pegg was the original inspiration for Huey the graphic novel.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring that up. I'm pretty sure we mentioned that before, but
and obviously he's too old now to play it, so playing his dad is perfect. So we got him on a FaceTime.
You got to move it away from your face, Dad.
Right? Yeah, that's so great.
Perfect dad moment.
Right. It's
right.
But did you guys ever watch the animated, the Diabolical, I think it's called?
Yeah, it's really good.
I did not.
So there is one episode where, it's like an anthology thing, and they're all in different animation styles. There's one that they do that is comic book accurate, and they have Simon Pegg as Huey.
Nice.
Yeah, it's dope. Cool. The final episode of that series dovetails directly into The Boys season 1, episode 1.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. All right. All right. So with that,
to Obi-Wan,
let's jump into Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Wrong
obviously,
theme.
We record on Tuesday nights. We're going to get a new episode tomorrow night. But for now, we only have 3 episodes to go off of, and we sort of briefly mentioned the first 2 episodes last week. We knew we were going to do a deeper discussion this week. So again, it starts off here with Obi-Wan Kenobi sort of living his life in complete and total, not complete isolation, but sort of isolated from the Force first and foremost, and just sort of, watching over Luke when he can. And at the same time, being
living the Groundhog Day life,
right? Yeah, but then who knew there was such a rich sashimi market on on Tatooine? Like,
right?
where are they getting the fish?
I mean, just leave the fish on the bench when everybody goes home. Like, is that smoked or cured? Do they refrigerate it? What the hell?
So we talked about the suspend your disbelief in a world where lightsabers and Jedi exist. Don't worry about the biology of bacteria on Tatooine or fish in the desert. Yes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, has anyone seen like a pond on Tatooine yet? I haven't even seen a kiddie pool anywhere. I mean, come on.
It's not that kind of.
God, I didn't even think about where they got the fish. I was just concerned about how they're handling it.
Well, Dan said it was a great dragon. I don't remember exactly what it was, but
maybe, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, and seeing that part, and again, this is they started off the series with a prequel recap, which I thought was cool. Just sort of showing, showing, that whole arc of him meeting Anakin, him training Anakin, and they're doing their adventures, and then the final fight on Mustafar.
And then it brings up every story point that it's gonna relate to, and not just between them, but also with Padme and the twins, and Padme and Anakin and his turn, and then Order 66. Like it all the high points from the prequels,
right? Yeah, and so it digs into and then we get the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors show up.
Yes.
Right? And now I didn't watch Clone Wars or the Rebels, so I don't have a whole lot of information on the Inquisitors.
Andy, how can you?
I know.
I didn't make it through. I made it through like a few seasons of Clone Wars, not as far to get to Inquisitors.
We're killing Nate right now.
My head is going to explode. So Clone Wars is amazing. Rebels
so much of it.
Well, I know, that's why I'm saying Clone Wars is amazing, but there is a machete order that you can watch. Rebels is must watch stuff. Like the best lightsaber battles ever in Star Wars occur in Star Wars Rebels. Like there's a lot of stuff that you would expect, you'd hope to see in this show that they've already done. Like the final fight between Maul and Obi-Wan, and like Ahsoka fighting Vader for the first time and finding out that it's Anakin. Like all that shit happens in Rebels. Like you have to, it's so good. Clone Wars, there's a lot, and it actually takes a while to get going. But they definitely do the machete order of that if you can. But Rebels is great, soup to nuts. So, make it a priority. It's good shit.
Okay, yeah. So the only references I have to Inquisitors are from Jedi Fallen Order.
Great references, though.
Yes, no, really good references, and I get sort of what their purpose is. Yeah. And I didn't put this together until I watched some sort of recap videos that one of the girls in the Jedi Temple during Order 66 is what's her name?
Reva. Yeah, Reva.
Yeah, Reva. Yeah.
So is that confirmed, or is that just speculation?
That's confirmed.
Okay.
By me.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here.
They literally do a tight zoom on the specific person that she's supposed to be playing, and it's, as far as I know, it's all over the internet at this point.
Okay. And so we see them on Tatooine hunting a Jedi, which we sort of assume that they've already sort of found Kenobi, but it's somebody else. And I love that whole sequence in that little sort of whatever, like patio cantina.
Yeah. Well, it's Jedi number 6, so you should have had a red shirt on.
Right. No, totally. Yeah. But
dude,
I love
and that like the Inquisitor is so Hans Landa in that scene. I'm just like, that's all like Inglourious Bastards. Him like talking to the milk dude. I'm like, it's the same damn thing.
Right.
Well, maybe they roughed you up and he helped you a bit or whatever. Like you offered him shade and water.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
But I love the way that they weed him out. And he somehow gets out of it. Meanwhile, sort of Obi-Wan's taking his little guy home. Right?
Yeah. His whale meat. Apparently it's a sand whale.
Oh, okay.
The audio descriptive track describes it as a sand whale. They're processing whale meat at Sand Whale Station. Deep cuts.
Okay.
Deep
Nice. All right.
cuts.
Wow. And then and so anyway, but the first episode mainly brings us around to the Inquisitors, sort of showing what Obi-Wan has been doing. The Jedi reaches out, sees Obi-Wan there, realizes it's him, and Obi-Wan basically says, "Yeah, you're on your own, dude.
Go into the desert and bury your lightsaber," is one of the things he says. Like,
yeah. And then, and I don't know if I missed this when all of sort of the announcements were coming out, and I think does this not happen until episode 2 where it shoots to Alderaan? Because wasn't episode 1 just Tatooine?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, didn't we get, because episode 2 mainly deals with him going to get her, right?
Oh, true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying to find a decent recap list, and I can't find one.
Well, so anyway, for some reason, in all of what I've sort of ingested on the show before it came out, I didn't realize they had cast a young Leia.
Yeah, and that she would absolutely steal the show so far.
No, like they could not have picked a more perfect young Carrie Fisher-esque actress to pull off all the notes that you can absolutely believe that this girl grows up to be young Carrie Fisher in episode 4.
To the point that it makes me sad.
Like her too.
Yeah, to the point that it makes me sad that Carrie Fisher isn't around to see this performance. Like, that's how good this kid is.
Right.
Yeah. And we see her sort of exhibiting all of these traits in her sort of daily life. Sort of skirting responsibility a little bit here and there, running out to the woods, sort of being a rebellious young person. Wah, wah. And then and not necessarily taking any crap from the other kids that are around, which is cool. And then
kids wrapped around her finger.
Right. And then Flea shows up.
Yeah.
And
it's kidnapped by the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Right. Yeah.
Which again, that took me a minute to put together. And I'm like, wait, that's not Flea, is it?
That's what I said.
That looks like Flea. That sounds like Flea.
Like, I paused it and I went, wait, is that fucking Flea? And I just like, I went, Red Hot Chili Peppers. She went, what?
Right. And then we figure out that this is all a plan to sort of get Kenobi out in the open, which is good. So I think the last scene of episode 1 is him unburying his lightsaber, giggity, and then figuring out getting talking to Bail Organa, and then sort of stepping on that transport to get to, I forget the name of the planet that they go to in episode 2.
I had it. Where is it?
Yeah. But and again, so episode 2 starts up with this. So Bail Organa, or the Organas, get Obi-Wan to come out of retirement essentially and track down, hey, you're not just supposed to watch over Luke. You're supposed to watch over both of them.
They're both the New Hope or whatever, or something like that.
Right.
It's a really good line.
Right. And so and so this is, so they get to this planet, which is very Blade Runner-esque, which I loved. Right. I love the aesthetic of this planet. She's sort of in her holding cell, and he's still not using the Force, still sort of, just being very scrappy, and and he gets, and this is where and we'll talk a little bit more about what happens, and then I want to see if I'm being a little too nitpicky about things, because I probably am.
I'm sure you are.
So yes. So anyway, while Obi-Wan's trying to track down Leia, he comes across, maybe you should go talk to the Jedi. The Jedi can help you, right? And we get Kumail in basically doing his, like doing a great sort of smoke and mirrors act about being a Jedi, has somebody working with him on the inside of the trait, getting the family off, and then Obi-Wan coming up and basically calling him on his shit. And
I'm glad that they made him just like a swindler, but not evil. Like he wasn't selling them into the Empire or whatever. But he's just like, I saved them. I just make them a little poorer or whatever his line was.
Right.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. So not necessarily like scoundrel with a heart of gold, but a
good guy who's a bad guy, but who's really a good guy.
Right. Exactly. And so Obi-Wan gets to Leia, and they almost have this "aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper" moment a little bit. You're here to save me. Yeah. And I worked for your dad in the Clone Wars, blah, blah, blah. And so for some reason, I view episodes 4, 5, and 6 as like scripture, right?
As you should.
And there are lines spoken, which after the events of Obi-Wan Kenobi, don't necessarily make sense anymore, right?
You worked for my father in the Clone Wars.
No, you saved me from that planet. Remember?
So she doesn't know him as Obi-Wan. She knows him as Ben.
No. Okay, no, but and that's what I was thinking, because for the first few minutes of their escape, his name is never said.
Right.
But his name gets said in front of her several times after that.
The Obi-Wan name?
Well, even if not Obi-Wan, but Kenobi. And if you remember the line from episode 4, General Kenobi, you worked for my father in the Clone Wars, during the Clone Wars,
Sure.
Not General Kenobi, you saved me from that planet that one time. Like, you're
picking this.
I think so. I absolutely think so. But I have another one. That's going to come up after we talk about episode 3.
I want to stick with episode 2 real quick, because you get a little more. Well, we didn't really back to the Inquisitors for a minute.
Yes.
So we've got Han from the Fast and the Furious as the brother, and he's a badass. I really wish they did more with the voice modulation, because it's not consistent. There's a bunch of scenes where he has really heavy modulation on his voice, which sounds awesome. Right. And there's some scenes where it's not there at all. Like, come on, guys, what happened to the audio edit here? But in general, it's really cool, because he's supposed to be the super powerful one out of that group, other than the Grand Inquisitor, and he's next in line, and he's trying to keep Reva in her place because she's kind of doing her own thing, being super wild, and he keeps trying to kind of control that and kind of keep her in line. And so they keep butting heads, and they've done that in episode 1. They did it in episode 2 also. So I think we're going to see a really cool standoff between the two of them. My other favorite thing about this episode was basically, I thought it was Rex from the Clone Wars and Rebels, which is basically the old the old clone that was begging for change.
Right.
Yeah. And that really, Addie and I both freaked out, because we watched that and we went, wait a minute, that can't be him. It's got the same color, like pauldrons and stuff. That might be Captain Rex. Holy shit. But it's, they all look the same. So it could just be, clone 45279 down on his luck. It really kind of made you sad, though, because it looked like that was one of Anakin's like main guy, like guard or whatever. That's the armor pattern. And Anakin would never let his buddies like do that. But now you can tell Anakin's just lost and all that. So. And then Kumail, obviously, but I love the fact that they brought in that the clone trooper in there.
Right. No, I thought that was a great reference too, and hats off to Timur Morrison for coming back in and playing those. Like, if they spatter him just throughout this here and there, I think that would be. I don't know that they'll do any more of that, but I just like those little nuggets right there. I think are really good.
I think they're going to pay it off. That's why they put him in this scene. I think they're going to pay it off with like one of the main
I think you're right.
clones.
And and if that wasn't Rex, then I think they will probably have Rex at some point in here.
Either in this series or in the Ahsoka series, because he's more closely tied to her.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, and then after he gets Leia and they get out, Reva's sort of on their, well, so she puts out the old Obi-Wan sort of promo picture from episode 3 as a full alert as they're trying to get through. And I mean, just like, how easy could it have been for like the Obi-Wan that we know just to sort of, like mask himself in the Force and walk through, even though that would bring the attention of the Inquisitors because they're all Force sensitive, right?
Right.
But still, like, watching Obi-Wan sort of have to duck through people and duck through like alleys and stuff. I love that. And that's where we get Kumail sort of coming through and holding him, saying, hey, you can get off the planet here, go to this is cargo, they don't check this,
right?
And this is your way out.
So these are two things that really bugged me real quick before we continue further. Is that, when number one, they're looking for a Jedi and Obi-Wan's wearing fucking robes the entire time. He looks like a Jedi. Even at the beginning, he looks like a Jedi. More so after he leaves the planet and finishes carving up the whale. Like, oh, pay no attention to me. I'm only in a Jedi hood and robes. But then also the whole Leia running away from him scene. Like, I get how she could question his motives, but she's been insanely smart and very well put together so far, even though she's 10 in this. But that whole thing just bugged me because there had to be a vehicle for that to all to happen. I understand that, but I felt that was a little sloppy.
Yeah. And I do like, I did like when he finally used the Force to help catch her. I thought that was great, that you could tell that he's just so out of practice and trying so hard to just to get it to work. And like, you could tell when it did, he was just like, oh man.
Thank God.
Yeah, right.
Thank Yoda.
Right.
Yeah. I did like how Reva's plan totally worked because all the bounty hunters ended up shooting at him on rooftop, and it totally lured her or put him out in the open.
Yeah, right. Yeah, her little sort of forced parkour run was like, I don't know that we needed
a little cheese.
That was less cheesy than Obi-Wan catching the falling Leia. I'm sorry. Like you knew what was going to happen there. At least they could have done it some other way. Like, God, there was I see why this thing is getting review bombed a little bit. Like, it's amazing and I absolutely love it. But if you break it down, like divorcing yourself from the love of the franchise, there's a bunch of it that's like, ooh, guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah. And I do find it weird too that the Inquisitors are so mad at Reva, but she is producing results here. Even though she's not doing it the Inquisitor way, but
she's full on chaotic evil, and they're trying to be lawful.
Right, yeah, and it does seem like that she's got more of a connection to Vader than any of the other Inquisitors do. Right, and it seems that he has her on this, like, oh, don't worry about what anybody else says. You just go after Kenobi.
And hopefully we get a good flashback that shows like her relationship to Vader and why she's so pissed off at Obi-Wan. Like, I'm expecting that in the next episode, frankly.
Yeah.
And her thing, like, it bothered me in the first episode because I was like, why are you bucking against your superiors? You're supposed to be Empire. Right. It's straight by the books, And then once it's revealed that, she's actually going to Vader, I'm like, okay. Now it's fine. I get your motivation now.
Well, and that too, I sort of equated to like, like an all-star athlete. Like, they recruited her for this team because she's good with the Force, and she's very, she can read minds, she can do all this, she can do all this stuff. She's an all-star, but she's not necessarily the best team player, but better she's on your team than somebody else's, almost exactly. And so like that really good it's like that really good basketball player, but that just doesn't play well with others, but you got to have them on your team because they're going to produce. And that's how I sort of viewed that she's just like, yeah, this is the team I chose and I'm just going to sort of do my thing. And I think that's going to get, so that's how sort of I equated her, because they're bringing these Force sensitives in to train them. And, you don't know how these kids are going to react and you don't know what they're going to possess. You're just going to sort of hone their skills and whatever their certain ability is, and then hope that they use it for you. And it doesn't seem like all she's gotten was like stern talking to so far. Like nothing terribly bad has happened to her yet. Right.
Yeah. Until her meeting with the
right.
old man Vader. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, so then, well, and so they get to the cargo ship. Reva's right on their tail, and we get sort of a confrontation between Reva and Obi-Wan, where she can feel Obi-Wan is there because he just used the Force, right? And she basically drops the bomb that Anakin's still alive, and you can tell that Obi-Wan had no idea.
Yeah, I hated the fact that was how he found out too. Like, it's just a random, guess what I know that you don't know. Like, really? Okay.
Well, and seeing reaction to this across sort of all the different sort of YouTube videos that have come out on episode 2 and everything. Yeah. Like people were weird that she knew that Anakin was Darth Vader. Like, I didn't necessarily know that was a big secret.
Well, think about the timeline. So it's been 10 years since he became Vader at this point.
Right.
So
it's going to come out.
Well, yeah, but I would think that'd be something that they'd want to not kind of put out in the streets, kind of thing. I don't think it matters really, but
yeah, like what would it matter that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader?
Yeah, and how come Kenobi didn't find out some other way too? That reveal was not handled well, in my opinion, but it worked in the moment because it completely froze him. What would have been cool is if they'd used that to, like, when they were fighting kind of thing, guess what I know kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff that happens at the end of this episode. So.
Right. Yeah. And so, and then, well, so the Grand Inquisitor then sort of comes in and sort of blocks Reva from getting to Kenobi, because right as she's about to uncover where he is, Grand Inquisitor comes in. This allows Obi-Wan to get on the transport.
Right.
And then this is where we get Reva sort of stabbing the Grand Inquisitor and taking him down.
Yeah.
Now I know that just from what I've watched, that this is not how he goes in the animated series. And they've said that the animated series is canon, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
he's not dead.
Think he's not dead.
No. Okay. Plot armor. He's not dead.
All right. There we go. All right. So just slowed down. He lost. Yeah. So, but then this picks us up to episode 3, where they go to sort of the next planet that they're on the run from, and Kumail gave them coordinates of a person that will help them, and so they get out. They get to they sort of working their way past all of these different Imperial sort of checkpoints and everything. They get in that guy's truck, who it was voiced by Zach Braff, I think.
No, it was Seth Rogen.
No, it was Zach Braff. Yeah,
the mole guy.
Yeah.
Was Seth Rogen.
No. Look it up.
Really? Am I that wrong? No, no.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I was Seth Rogen.
And then, but I love that he also, while he picks up Obi-Wan and Leia, and basically tells Leia not to talk, then 5-6 stormtroopers get on and talk about how they're looking for a Jedi.
Right.
She starts talking.
Yeah, this part was really stupid also. They were told to look for a Jedi, but not an old man with a beard looking with a child. Like, give me a break. How stupid is the Empire? Give me it's so dumb.
Right. Yeah. And so And so anyway, they get to a checkpoint. He again just sort of, even though he's already sort of tapped back into the Force at this point,
right,
refuses to use it, goes blaster because they put probe droids down. Probe droid takes a good sort of shot of Obi-Wan right in front of the gate, and then he starts firing and goes nuts and gets a good sort of when the guy, the stormtrooper grabs Leia, he gets his, oh, hey, don't do anything, and then gets a good shot off and gets her off.
I love the stormtrooper. One of the best stormtrooper deaths is the guy falling off the tower, getting sliced in half by the energy.
That was so good. Yeah.
The best.
I love that. Yeah. I love that part of it.
So good.
Yeah. And so, and then, they're walking through the gate and another transport comes up, this time with some more troopers and one of the generals on, or one of the sort of officers on it. Yeah. Turns out the officer is the contact that he was supposed to meet. She takes out the stormtroopers. Right. Yeah. And so
this is Ilaria Sand from Game of Thrones too.
That's
Viper.
right.
Like, yeah. So Tala.
Yeah. And
I
so
knew I recognized her.
Yeah. And so they get to this sort of Underground Railroad part of.
That's what I'm reading too. They call it. What did they say? It was Tala's Galactic Underground Railroad.
Yeah. Which, and one thing I failed to mention too, I guess at the end of episode 2 is when she says his name. She says Anakin Skywalker. Obi-Wan immediately gets that feeling. We get Anakin Skywalker's eyes opening in the Bacta tank. And then doesn't episode 3 start on Mustafar with Vader getting put together?
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, and then him talking to Reva and saying, hey, I found him. You know, let's go through. You keep doing what you're doing and you'll be Grand Inquisitor someday. Mm-hmm. So all through this, once they track him to that planet, they get Darth Vader sort of on the warpath to get to Kenobi. And so right as he's supposed to go through the Underground Railroad and get to the ship that's going to take him and Leia off, that's when he stops because he feels Anakin.
Right.
Now, and again, this is where it sort of gets, and me getting probably a little too nitpicky about things. So Vader obviously can feel Kenobi.
Right.
But is he at the point where he can't feel Leia?
Right.
Because it's his offspring, right?
Right. Well, she's not Force sensitive though at this point. Like she might be, but hasn't been. Yeah, it's not like when Luke flew by in the shuttle or whatever, and I'm endangering the mission.
Yeah, because he's already had training. Right.
Right. Because Vader is feeling the Force. He's not feeling his offspring. Basically, he just knows that it's Luke because he's met him before at that point.
Well, and again, he's probably so sort of blood raged at this point that he's just sort of out there for Kenobi.
Well, and this was. So we talked about this several times before. Like we finally get the Vader I wanted to see, hunting down people, being ruthless as fuck, and they show him being the most evil bad guy in the history of everything. Basically, like just force pulling people in the air and breaking necks and dragging people on the ground with the Force and throwing them into buildings and then Jesus.
Yeah, no, like this is great, like final Rogue One credit. Darth Vader, like just tearing through the guys on the ship. And so that was a great sequence, but like Obi-Wan after the first kill, like at that point, if you're not going to use the Force, why don't you just run?
Yeah, well, I think they mentioned that before, that like the Jedi code is an itch. And his compassion will be his undoing. Like he hears the people dying, I think is what happens. Sure. And I think that's part of it. That's why he tells her to run kind of thing with Vala and try to get to the transport and that kind of thing. Get her back to Alderaan.
Right. Yeah. So and then this puts forth and a pretty fucking incredible sequence.
Several, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so they have the loader droid, right? That's in this little that can't talk, right? Now wasn't there some droid in the animated series that couldn't talk but was, because everybody's saying that this is like, is it Wrecker or something like that?
No, Chopper is
Well,
it's a
Chopper's the
droid
R5,
from Rebels.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Wrecker's
wasn't there
also is one of the Bad Batch.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So anyway, they were talking about this could possibly be just a guy in a suit that's playing the part.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, it definitely looks like a guy in a suit. It's really bad. I'm
Right.
not sure what they're trying to do there, but
yeah. So anyway,
there's a great meme on this guy of it shows the mole dude, like celebrity voices in the show. It's like the mole dude, Zach Braff, and then this guy, and it shows Kevin Smith.
Right.
Nah.
Yes. Yeah, so good.
Nice.
And like he
So
tweeted,
good.
it's like it took me a minute to get the joke, but
and so Obi-Wan does sort of go on the run a little bit, but Darth Vader tracks him down, and what was this line? It was like, "What have you become? I become what you made me," or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that line. I thought that was great. But clearly, Anakin hasn't learned a damn thing other than some sort of new force powers since he got left on that shorefront on Mustafar.
Yeah.
Obviously, because he built a palace on the damn on the damn planet, right?
His voice got very James Earl Jonesy over the years,
right? Yeah. So and again they will probably, I don't. Anyway, what happens here is we get this great fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, where Obi-Wan Kenobi just basically gets his ass handed to him.
Yep.
And obviously Obi-Wan Kenobi hasn't trained in 10 years, hasn't used his lightsaber in 10 years, hasn't used the Force in 10 years, considering catching a little girl that's falling off a thing, right? So he's just way out of practice, right?
He's just trying to run.
Right. And he's not ready for this. And I love the fact that when Darth Vader finally has Obi-Wan Kenobi where he wants him, he puts over that barrel with the flammable stuff in it and then pulls him into it just to sort of do what you did to me sort of thing, right? I'm going to leave you for dead, all burnt up and crispy, and you know, and that's it. I just would have loved it if they almost recreated a part where, you know, Darth was on a higher just plane,
right?
Where Darth's
on the high ground now.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee you that's happening because we're getting another Obi-Wan Vader fight at some point. That has to happen.
Right. Yeah. And this sort of leads me to my second of third original line dialogues. And like I said, they still have 3 episodes to sort of bring this around. But when Darth Vader and Obi-Wan meet on the Death Star, when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master, right? So clearly, if you're going to rank people in this fight, Darth Vader's the master and Obi-Wan is the learner, right? After this fight. So clearly this is setting up another fight where Obi-Wan's sort of back in true form, right? And like hopeful full master where we see him in episode 4. So like I said, so they still have time to sort of correct this. And again, this is probably just me being, you know, super nitpicky on on everything.
Yes, and that's my job normally, but I appreciate you taking that taking the mantle.
No, I'm happy. And this next one, the next one that I have, I can bring up now because the last part of episode 3 is Leia running through and Reva intercepting her at where the pilot is. Right. And so that's where this is hopefully going to catch up in episode 4. and again, and Nate, you probably sort of hit this on the head with Leia not being force sensitive at this point, but like Leia and Vader have an exchange, a face-to-face exchange in episode 4, right? In the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How could you not feel that that's your daughter?
She has no idea about the Force at that point, but I guess I don't know. I mean,
well, so I would
she
think
doesn't
about it
get
this
trained
way:
in the Force until after Return of the Jedi is over.
when like he thinks his kids are dead for how many years?
Right.
And
yeah.
She, which and this is kind of one of the things for me is I'm like, did they like? I thought they kept her lineage a secret, or at least like,
They did. Yeah, they did.
Well, but she knows she's not Bale's daughter. She
Right,
says
but she
so.
doesn't know she's
like,
Anakin's daughter, though.
Well, I figured
Yeah.
they would just make like they wouldn't even tell her she's adopted. So that's in this thing. I'm like, how does she know she's adopted?
She can sense it. I'm sure this is all precursor because she's so 10 years old is typically the age when these kids display their aptitude in the Force. Typically, right? It's between.
Well, what I'm saying is like obviously Bale and whatever his wife's name is, I can't remember. Obviously, they told her that she's adopted or not their blood kid or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
she mentions it to. There's a whole scene with her and Bale where she mentions that the other kid told her that she's not even a real Organa, and he's like, "Wait, where'd you hear that?" And
oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, they didn't tell her it was the kid that said that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure it's rumored and all that. There's no way that she would know that they're not her folks, except for the outside.
I just figured that would be a more closely guarded secret, and it wouldn't be a thing.
No, I'm with you on that, Joe.
Her adoption isn't a secret because I'm sure the reason they were trying to they adopted her in the first place is they always wanted to have a daughter and couldn't have kids, and so they're very high profile people. You're not gonna be able to keep an adoption a secret. The fact that who she is though is the secret, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, you know what? Fair point. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. There's a lot of like, blink and you'll miss it. Why did they pick this moment in these shows?
Yeah.
So what was your last nitpick? Was the face to face?
Was the face to face with Leia, and I mean, so like Qui-Gon can sense that Anakin has a strong connection to the Force when he meets him on Tatooine, right? Even though
he's the one, he's born to the midichlorians, right?
Right. Yeah. So like, but he can just sense it. Like, and again, maybe just Darth Vader, just like he doesn't. Maybe you have to be looking to have that sense, right? But again, he senses Obi-Wan, but again, that's Kenobi, and he has that connection with Kenobi, so he senses Obi-Wan when he gets on the Death Star. So yeah, and again, but the biggest one for me is, and again, I hate that I'm like this, is her message on R2 to Kenobi saying, "You served my father in the Clone Wars. Like, you literally rescued me from danger on this planet."
Well, I mean, that's a lot. She didn't have a lot of time for that. And consider this. So we don't know how far the time jump is from the end of Kenobi to the beginning of A New Hope. So he's going to have no idea who she is.
But we have her age. Like, she's about, 8?
She's 10 years old.
She's 10 in the show right now.
10 years.
So
and what? How old is Luke? Like, they're between 18 and 21 years old.
I mean, she's already a senator at that point. So sure. But 10 years later, he's not going to recognize who this person is. So that's the fastest way she gets her identity across in the message. You got to help me. Like, he's Princess Leia buns. Maybe hasn't seen her since the end of this Obi-Wan series, and it's 10 years later. I don't know. I'm just devil's advocate.
You know what? Okay, well, you know what? And she doesn't say her name in the message, right?
Sure.
She just says, "You served my father in the Clone Wars." That could be anybody.
Yeah.
General Kenobi, you served. All right, you know what?
It could be trying to keep her identity a secret and not just be like, "Hey, I'm Leia," and you you saved me when I was a kid, and here's our whole entire history.
Princess Cinnamon Buns, there you go.
But again, I don't know. Like
you are beating a dead horse, my friend.
No, dude. If someone picks you out of danger and the last name is Kenobi, come on.
How many Kenobis are there in the fucking galaxy? I mean, come on.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, apparently there's a little brother. There's a little
exactly.
brother Kenobi, right?
I saw that too. Yeah.
It could be Stan Kenobi.
Stan Kenobi. Wait, what is Captain Kirk's brother in the show?
Yeah, Samuel Kirk.
It's just Kenobi without the mustache, though. It's the opposite.
Right. Yeah.
I'm Fred Kenobi. I'm here to fix the plumbing.
Fred Kenobi.
Fucking Fred.
Yeah. So anyway, but I love seeing this part of Kenobi's journey. I know we're nitpicking a bunch of these little things, but I'm really enjoying this so far, and I love that they're that the central part of this is Darth's search for Obi-Wan and trying to sort of because someone leaves you for dead on the shore of a lava planet after burning half of your body and cutting off your legs off, right? Yeah.
That's also known as the full storm front.
Way to tie it in.
Hey, that's a callback, folks.
Love it. I love it. Nice. So, so I get that, and the fact that you have to sleep in a Bacta tank, right? Yeah. I totally get that, and I love that they're dealing with this, and they're putting it together. And again, I didn't realize how much I was even though I'm being a little nitpicky here, I actually love that the trailer showed us that little part of Luke, and that's all we've seen of him,
right?
And we're getting this just incredible representation of young Leia, and sort of, you absolutely buy that this experience is going to mold her into who she is at the beginning of episode 4.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
She shows all the traits, like you mentioned before, all the traits of who Leia is going to end up being. And the acting in this is really kind of next level. Just even the silent stuff that Ewan McGregor does in the first episode, where he's just kind of anguished and wants to jump in and help the other Jedi guy. And then episode 2 and then episode 3, obviously, where he's just completely torn about Anakin and that kind of stuff. It's amazing. And the line that Vader has when they're fighting at the end there, where I am what you made me. And I think I talked about this in our last one. Is so nuanced. It can mean like 5 things, but literally I'm the cyborg that you created. I'm also the personification of all your failings as a Jedi master. I'm also your personification of your deepest fears, etc. ad nauseum. I loved the burning, like, now you will suffer. Like, Jesus, fuck, right. So metal. He's going to drag him through the fire. Addie and I were watching this.
That was hard to watch.
Jaw agape. Like, oh my God, what are they doing?
I had to keep reminding myself of, like, he survives. You know this because there's episode 4, 5, and 6. He's fine.
Apparently, Obi-Wan needs some aloe vera after this episode, though. Because
I love that they show him reaching out to Qui-Gon at certain points and not getting anything back. I love that they will hopefully pay this off at some point. No, they obviously they will, and that was that was the one thing that I got excited for when they did the prequel recap. Was they had that line that Yoda says, that, training for you I have on Tatooine during your isolation, and so. Yeah, hopefully we get full on like corporeal Force Ghost, Liam Neeson.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
I don't want a voiceover.
No, it needs to be him for sure.
It absolutely he needs to show, because I think that would be way more impactful than just the voice coming to him.
Right. Well, he's got to be there to help him like reconnect with the Force and train to fight Vader and all that kind of thing. That has to be. That has to be.
Which I wonder if like we're gonna get maybe 5 minutes of episode 5 of full on Rocky training montage with Qui-Gon.
Oh yeah, there better be. There's a training montage in every movie, or every major Star Wars property has a training montage. We got to have one.
Yeah. And then I'm with with sort of the power struggle in the Inquisitor line here,
right?
Where do you guys think Reva's going to end up?
She's gonna go good.
Yeah, I really hope she doesn't, because that's so overdone. God, I mean, I guess it hasn't really been done, but
did you guys see the new posters where it's like everybody's got the eye and the little person in the eye?
No, is hers.
So there's a bunch where like all the like bad guys have Obi-Wan in their eye, and all the good guys have Vader in their eye. She's got Vader in her eye.
Ooh. Oh snap!
So look up the
okay
Obi-Wan posters, the newest ones.
Okay.
Ooh, I do see that. Interesting.
All right. So I have a feeling she will end up sacrificing herself so Leia can go home or something like that.
Yeah.
Which then it kind of makes sense if, like, you know, like you guys said, she was one of the foundler, the younglings.
Younglings, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, she was originally supposed to be a Jedi, and then
I wonder if Vader lied to her and told her that Obi-Wan killed all the people in the temple or something like that. Like, I wonder why. I'm trying to figure out what would turn her.
Probably. That actually sounds fairly legit.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
he
sees something in her that, you know.
That's like, frustrating though, because that's what happens in Jedi Fallen Order, is that the sister sacrifices herself or basically turns, and then Vader kills her. Like,
right.
God, I hope it's not that.
Yeah. So, and I wonder too if they'll flash back to the conditioning of Reva, and we'll get maybe another little sort of montage of her journey from Order 66,
right?
Sort of to like Inquisitor, you know.
I think I mentioned that earlier.
I think you did. Anyway, yeah. I was just bringing that back up.
I know it's such a great point. I understand.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. But no, this is a story that I've wanted to see forever. You know, I think Obi-Wan is one of the sort of the best, one of the best sort of unfleshed out, even though we know him so well, right? Not necessarily we have a whole lot of backstory on what. Why are you smiling, Nate?
On all the shows that you chose not to watch, you learn who Obi-Wan is, especially in the Clone Wars.
No shit, really?
Yeah, man.
Well, then I'm
going to bring up something I wanted to bring up on this episode too.
Okay.
That's really important is actually, maybe it's not this episode. It's the episode where they meet what's her name? Tala. That is it, this episode. Okay.
Yeah.
So when they meet Tala, she takes them to a refuge in the nearby town, and she said it's been used to smuggle Jedi off the planet. And specifically, she refers to Quinlan Vos, who is in a huge character in the Clone Wars and in the canon.
Right.
And Obi-Wan grew up with him and trained with him, basically. And Quinlan possesses an ability to perceive other people's memories by contacting objects that they've touched. And what's huge about this character, and like the overall canon, not really going to impact here, is that he was picked by the Jedi to assassinate Dooku when Dooku was younger. And and Quinlan Vos gets turned to the dark side and only gets back to the light because Asajj Ventress, which is Dooku's apprentice, dual-wielding lightsaber lady, who's from the same planet as Darth Maul, but she's the lady version, like the witch version, which you'll find out. And you're missing all this shit in the Clone Wars and in Rebels. It's amazing.
Right.
Anyway, so she sacrifices herself for him and turns him back to the light, basically. But he's a huge part of Star Wars canon, and the fact that he might still be alive now is a big deal.
Well, we have not seen O'Shea Jackson Jr. yet.
Yeah.
In this.
That's the rumor.
Could he play Quinlan Vos in this?
That's the rumor.
So the literal dark side of the Star Wars fandom being assholes is the hate that they sent to Moses Ingram, the girl playing Reva, sending her racist messages and everything. Yeah, So don't be a dick. Come on, you guys. It's Star Wars, right?
Especially in a galaxy with literal other species and other humans of different colors. You don't bring up skin color, you fucking fart heads. Like,
right?
Fart head,
yeah.
swear word.
So anyway, O'Shea Jackson sent out a tweet. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he basically says, "Oh man, if they're sending you hate, wait till they get a load and see who I'm playing in this show."
Ooh, shit. Okay.
So
I'm excited.
Yeah, and then the only reason I know about Quinlan Vos is because of the videos that have come out about him after his mention in this episode.
Right.
And I guess they so he was in the animated series, right?
Yes.
But they actually show a guy who looks exactly like Quinlan Vos in the prequels on Tatooine.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, he's at the part where Jar Jar knocks over the asshole pod racers.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
He's at the table with Sebulba.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah, he does. Yeah, he's got the makeup and everything on.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. So I thought that was interesting that they. Yeah. So again, I like I said, I hope that is what happens. But anyway,
yeah,
I'm excited. I love this. I love this show so far. I'm totally into it. I can't wait to see where it goes in the next 3 episodes. Apparently, this was the highest viewed Disney Plus premiere ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are here for it. That's for sure.
And I know that they've said that this is a limited series. But I've seen a couple of articles saying that they're discussing a possible season 2.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of time you can fill. And
right.
I'd be super excited to see how this could dovetail into a bunch of other Star Wars we've already seen. I can't wait for them to cast more animated series characters as live actors. So
right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm stoked that this is tying in the prequel series, which is, what I kind of grew up with.
Right.
To the whole canon, everything, because, like, I'm a little bit younger than you guys. I didn't go see the original.
I'm not that old.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that part too. And I also love the fact that if you watch a lot of the interviews with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, is that they were so they didn't necessarily look back on the prequels. They didn't really start to love them until they got back into the show, because they found out like a lot of the people that are working on this show have such an appreciation for those movies that they, like it sort of reignited their passion for sort of Star Wars and the what they played. And watching Hayden Christensen especially, talk about people who got a lot of hate for how they played a character, but seeing him get excited about his arc here and just putting the suit back on for one and playing this out, I just think that's really cool. So I'm so stoked. I love that they're bridging the gap here between the prequels and the original trilogy. And this is like high time for me for Star Wars stuff. Like I think this is great. Don't get me wrong, I love The Mandalorian and I love where The Mandalorian is, but like this is just fun. So Nate, what do you think about this?
Meh. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, again, I'm going to go back to Clone Wars and Rebels. Like, so all of the holes that we're talking about or that you're throwing out there and all the things like Mandalorian and all that, you get all the backstory of Bo-Katan and the fall of Mandalore, and all of that is covered in like Clone Wars and Rebels. So you really like, you'll get so much more out of these live action series if you go back and watch that stuff, because it's all canonized now. So
all right.
And that, like Joe said, there's a lot of Clone Wars, but it's like a half hour each, TV half hour for each episode. So
gotcha. Okay.
Look up the machete order, because it'll basically just run you through the major events. And then come back to it, but definitely watch Rebels after you watch the Clone Wars, because they tie all that together in Rebels, and Rebels has some of the best shit you'll see, and as far as Star Wars goes.
Cool.
Anyways, but yeah, so specifically, I love that Ewan McGregor's back and kicking ass as Obi-Wan. Hayden Christensen as Vader got a lot of hate, rightfully so. He was a shitty actor back then. Thank God he is not really acting in this, so I'm just going to leave that so far. I love the fact that he is so happy to be back, and that the fans are giving him a lot of love, which I think he deserves in general. It's interesting to see them back together again, so I'm excited to see that some more. I can't wait for the Obi-Wan defeating him in the next duel, because that's going to lead to the quote that you're referencing, Andy, in episode 4. And I guarantee you there'll be some like master learner kind of thing, like you still have much to learn, Vader or whatever kind of situation. And I'm just excited to see more from baby Leia. I mean, we baby Yoda'd it, but from young Leia, because Jesus, that kid's gonna have a bright future. And then I love what they're doing with Reva and the Inquisitors, because the Inquisitors are one of my favorite parts of the animated series. Just their weaponry. I want you guys to get a better look at their lightsabers too, because you get a brief kind of glimpse of one of the spinning blade kind of situations, but the stuff they can do with those is pretty intense. So I love it. Can't wait.
Yeah. So my final note on this, and this is possibly my favorite thing to come out of Kenobi, is the Uncle Owen memes. These are so good. We
like
posted a couple, so check them out on our page. But it was episode 1 where he just burns Obi-Wan, and when he comes of age, he needs to be trained. Oh, like you trained his father? I just expected the whole square just to pop up, like, oh, that would have been great if everybody
like a rap battle. Like a rap
I just thought that would have been great.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of Kenobi so far? Are you being as nitpicky as I am about it, or are you just sort of enjoying the ride? Let us know. You can talk to us on Facebook at the Rum Regret Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at rum_regret. Joe, where can they find you?
At Joe Chickadee on the socials, or at joechickadee.com.
Nate, where can they find you?
Avid Gamer, AV1D Gamer, on all the socials and your gaming platforms of choice.
I am Crazy Drake on Facebook and Andrew Drake on Twitter. And until the next time, we have spoken.
I am what you made me.
Only a master of evil doth.
Hello there.
General Grievous.
I want the hello there, but themed under the sea while he's chopping up the sand whale.
Oh, right. That would have been funny. Oh, man.
Hey,